Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Pick Six. Of course, if you haven't heard, if this is your first time watching into the programming for today, we have some sad breaking news here at Bruce Sports. Unfortunately, one of our correspondents close to our hearts here, not just at Bruce Sports, but especially Pick Six, Greg Schwartz, has unfortunately passed this morning after a battle with cancer. Everybody here at Bruce Sports, and especially Pick Six, are very saddened, and our hearts are hanging low with this unfortunate news. We can only imagine how difficult this time must be for his family and everybody who cared for him and was around him. We know he spent a lot of time on this program as he was one of our lead NFL correspondents, and we loved every single minute that we had with Greg on this show and on all of our shows here at Bruce Sports. It's safe to say from everybody here at Bruce Sports, and especially the Pick Six in particular, we are very saddened, and we wish for nothing but the best and a speedy recovery for his family. Our prayers certainly go out to everybody involved with Greg's life. Yes, good afternoon. Of course, this is the Pick Six. Some unfortunate news this morning. Greg will certainly be a part of our organization moving forward. He will always be one of our very special correspondents here in our heart. Certainly some sad news, but I think it's safe to say that Greg would want us to move forward and thrive in any way possible to live his legacy on. And this week we have some interesting stuff to talk about.
For sure.
So.
And what better way to honor him than to do what he loved to do? Talk about football, talk about sports.
Football, baby. That's right. Absolutely. And it's crazy because he really, I mean, just having him on every show was certainly just a treat because you could tell how passionate he was,
Definitely.
not just about football in general, but you could tell he just really believed in the network, and that was pretty special. So.
Definitely have someone, with that knowledge base as well. Very respected correspondent. Kind of be here on a daily or weekly basis was huge for us, and we'll definitely miss him.
Absolutely. He was always the first one to respond anytime I asked for a correspondent to come on the show, and you could tell he was always eager to be a part of any broadcast. But nonetheless, this week, of course, continues our second segment in our weekly breakdown of each division. This week we are featuring the AFC East. Since last week we featured the NFC East, we thought it prudent to talk about this division.
The AFC East probably makes you a little happy.
It does. I'm a little bit excited. We will have one of my good friends, Nate Geary, on the show later today. He was one of my good friends in high school, and he works for WGR 550 in Buffalo, so naturally we will be talking some Bills today since we are featuring the AFC East. Let's start with a little bit of an NFL update. I just found out, apparently, Michael Vick plans to play in a trial game for an American flag football league. This just doesn't seem fair. Michael Vick was like the poster child for running quarterbacks, and I can't think of any other sport other than flag football where a running quarterback can be valued. Tackled. Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember was it the Nike commercial, the Michael Vick experience? It was like a roller coaster.
Yeah, that's right.
I assume that's exactly what's going to happen.
It's going to be exactly like that. I'm actually intrigued. I hope this is broadcast on like ESPN 8, the Ocho or something, or maybe they'll let us broadcast it. I would love. We'll get our interns on. I would love to broadcast this American flag football. This seems like a professional thing. It's a professional flag football league. So, if there's ever a sport I could get into.
How many of these semi-professional leagues are out there? I mean,
it sounds like a development league.
Do they travel?
Yeah, I don't know. What, to different schools? Like, what is this? It's insane.
It'll be an experience for the guys that aren't NFL players that are playing in this thing. I mean, it's Michael Vick.
So the idea is from a man named Jeff Lewis, who thought while watching his son play flag football, he said, "I just thought to myself, what would this look like if great athletes played this game? There's certainly a huge pool to take guys from. Every single year, NFL teams cut 800 guys. We need less than 100 players to field 8 teams. This guy is building. I mean, I've heard of great ideas.
Right.
Like, you hear something, you're like, oh, there's a sports network streaming on Facebook Live. I can be a part of that. That's cutting edge. Not, oh, there's so many people we could start a professional flag. It's like your backyard football league. You're like, oh, let's just grab all the greatest guys who didn't make the roster and build a professional league out of it.
So is this guy the dad that's at his son's game that, the son's not that great? Dad's kind of bored. How can we make this better?
Yeah, dad works at a 9-to-5 sales job or something like that. And he's like, man, I really hate my job. I'm going to go start a backyard.
My son's not playing.
League.
Might as well get Michael Vick in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Might as well give me something to watch.
So crazy. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. He says we'll try to find a 6-year-old guy with a beer gut who can stand in and be a quarterback on one of our teams. This guy just seems like he's just having fun. I mean, why not? Why not? I would love to see that, though. I hope I get a chance to watch.
And if you're Michael Vick, what else do you got going on?
That's what I'm saying. They're probably going to pay him. Not going to pay him good. They're not going to pay him well. But anyways, this also recent news. We're in the off season. There's always some weird news in the off season. The Michael Vick playing flag football, and then of course there's one Canadian Football League team that owns the rights to Manziel, Kaepernick, and RG3.
Yep. They all got a backup plan.
Now, of course they can still play in the NFL, but the CFL has their own rights for their own teams. So there is one team that went out and grabbed the rights to Manziel, Kaepernick, and RG3, and I think it's probably the smartest move any Canadian Football League team has ever done, aside from signing Warren Moon and Doug Flutie.
Right.
But so it says here the Hamilton Tiger Cats would have the first shot at signing Kaepernick, Robert Griffin III, or Johnny Manziel if any of them decide to play in Canada.
Could you imagine if they got all 3 of them?
I would love. You could put all 3 of them out on the field at the same time. Imagine the things you could
trick
do.
Plays nonstop.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. I want to watch that.
It'd be like NFL blitz when you throw behind the line to throw up.
Yes. I mean, oh my gosh, Statue of Liberties left and right. Music City Miracles back and forth. I don't know. It'd be great. I would love to see this. Now, here's the deal with the CFL. The league minimum salary is about $40,000.
A little bit of a pay cut.
A little bit of a pay cut. That's like professional lacrosse money.
Right.
Like National Lacrosse League. Like you got to be a teacher just to pay your bills along with playing professional lacrosse.
I mean, I assume the team's got to put them up,
Yeah.
Give them housing and whatnot. And if that's the case, go hang out in Canada for a little bit until you find a job.
Why not? Let's show off a little bit, have some fun. The talent is not nearly as close to the NFL, so if you look good,
you got a couple guys with history there, though, too, that have made the jump back. Like you said, Warren Moon, Doug Flutie.
Yep. They need time, too. It seems like these players need time to – I mean, not necessarily RG3. RG3 is a different issue, but – Colin Kaepernick and Johnny Manziel need time away from the NFL, and if they want to continue to play football, they need to do it somewhere where they won't be in the spotlight, and that is the CFL.
Yeah.
And maybe they clean up their image up there.
They'll probably be in the spotlight there.
Yes, absolutely. But people will love them. People love them up there. They just, they want good players.
And all 3 of them are kind of guys who probably have gotten more talked about off the field than on.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Kaepernick with all the stuff he's been doing the last couple of years, Manziel is,
of course,
Manziel, and
he's always been Manziel,
right?
So.
And ever since RG3 got there was the issues of him being a good teammate and this and that,
his injury
and injuries and the stuff that he said to.
Notice these are all running quarterbacks too,
exactly.
So,
which is why they're having a problem finding a place.
Yes, Vince Young signed with the Saskatchewan Roughriders reportedly for about $90,000 annually. Now. $90,000 doesn't sound too bad. I'd take it. I'd take it.
Right. I mean, he's not getting a job anywhere else.
Is the CFL like flag football? Can we just? I don't know.
I know the rules are different, but
well, we'll see. I'd pay attention if one of these guys got signed by us. There's a lot of exciting things going on around football in general, not necessarily the NFL right now, but in every other aspect in the professional flag football.
Exciting / confusing
/ I don't know what the heck is going on out here. Just insanity. Anyways, let's move into our AFC East breakdown. Yes. Last week we broke down the NFC East, and we talked about who we predicted would come out on top, and we both agreed on the Cowboys. They're just, the Cowboys are going to be just a special team for years to come if they finance that right.
Young. They're young, so as long as they can keep it together.
I mean, I think that the future is going to depend upon how they maintain that line.
Right.
Because your two best players will be for the next 10 years, Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott. So those are two guys that you're going to want to invest in.
You look at those guys on the complete opposite side of the spectrum.
That's what I'm saying. It's amazing. They're the Jets, exactly. Let's start there.
That probably needs to start going young and rebuilding because right now at quarterback, we're looking at Josh McCown.
I mean, it's insane. It's insanity. The Jets, I feel like, are kind of, to me, like the Detroit Red Wings, except the Jets haven't been in the playoffs for 25 years consecutively, like the Red Wings have. But they're one of those teams that they continue to bring in talent and never fully embrace the rebuild, and it puts them right on the border of a wild card consistently, if not way out of the wild card. So
I mean, they're definitely a victim of the division, having to be in there with the Patriots.
Oh, you're telling me.
Is obviously
it's not easy
as a Bills fan, but as well as that, they are a victim of the Giants, who have had recent success. So they don't want to fall too far back, it seems. So, but in that, like you said, they're not committing to any kind of rebuild. They just keep trying to patch the problems, and it's not working.
No, it looks to me like Josh McCown will not be their franchise quarterback. No. I think it's safe to say. They may be planning for, because I don't predict them being very good this year. You look at, like you said, Matt Forte, who is towards the end of his career. Right. I mean, Bilal Powell. I mean, they lost Brandon Marshall to the Giants, so he's just trading uniforms and going to the locker room next door. I mean, it doesn't look like they're poising themselves for a great season. No, maybe they are playing for a quarterback next year.
Well, that, and you got Eric Decker coming off of injury. They pick up Safarian Jenkins, so the jury's still out on him, whether he's going to be productive or whether he's going to continue to be a problem. Mm-hmm. And then as far as receiver, Quincy Enunwa had a nice little breakout season, but I don't think by any stretch he's a number one. So that leaves you with what, Jeremy Curley?
Good luck.
Right.
I just don't see. I mean,
so if Josh McCown is your short-term answer, you're not giving him much help.
Right. It's going to start and end with who they end up getting at quarterback, and it's. I think they're going to be tanking this year. Right. I think they're going to go for the quarterback. The next year is supposedly a deep draft for quarterbacks, which we haven't had that since. In a long time.
Right.
Maybe Jameis. I mean, I wouldn't even say that was a deep class. Jameis Winston and. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, that's the thing with these drafts, and especially the 2017 draft. Is we're just removed from that.
Well, and that's
hard to look that far ahead.
That's the thing with the draft too. Is we said it during the draft show. Is the hype machine gets riled up, and all of a sudden, we have the best quarterbacks, and we have the best running backs, and we have the best receivers of ever, and then. It takes a couple years to find out what kind of class that was. I don't think that last year's class, like you said, it was a very deep quarterback class, but we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of what-ifs, just as there'll be a lot of what-ifs next year.
Yeah, there always is. I mean, no matter what position you're drafting at, I mean, I'm going to be watching a couple guys that were drafted this year in Peppers. Oh, God, the running back that got drafted at the top. See, I don't even care about the running backs that get drafted in the top 10. This is how ridiculous it is. Fournette.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette.
I just don't care. But, these are the guys who are going to be watching, and they're going to have the question marks. But the quarterbacks always are scrutinized more than anything. So,
and this isn't the best. The problem, too, with drafting quarterbacks is the Jets right now are not the best situation to land in if you're a young quarterback.
No.
Because you don't want
There's nobody there.
What do you send them in there to get beat up?
It's a ghost town.
Right. I mean,
good luck.
Like we said, Quincy Enunwa, Eric Decker off of injury, and Jeremy Gurley. I'm not excited about that if I'm a quarterback.
Patrick says on Facebook, he asks a question. New time for Pick 6. This is a special edition of the Pick 6 because I, unfortunately, was on vacation for the last 7 days.
Yeah.
In the future, we do hope to move it permanently to the afternoons.
Yep.
And possibly during the season have it twice a week too, so Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evenings. But for now, we're just kind of playing with it. Yeah, so of course, stay tuned for that schedule. Baxter says I would play fantasy flag football. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there'd be a lot of scoring in flag football. Why not? Let's move into our Dolphins, I suppose.
Yep.
I look at the Dolphins, and I'm always very confused. As a Bills fan, I'm happy because I've never felt threatened by the Dolphins, at least not since the early 90s when I didn't even care because I was an infant. The Dolphins never really scare me. Real quick, I just want to say I love the rivalry between the Dolphins and the Bills only because Jim Kelly and Dan Marino, two great quarterbacks, and never won a Super Bowl. But they're so close right now. They're rivals when they play, and they're so close as friends right now that when the Bills and the Dolphins play each other, if the Bills sweep the Dolphins, Dan Marino has to send Jim Kelly, I believe it's king crab legs or something. And if the Dolphins sweep the Bills, Jim Kelly has to send Dan Marino buffalo wings.
Nice.
Every year.
Yeah. That's an awesome rivalry, especially between, like you said, two great quarterbacks. Unfortunately, you didn't win a ring, but two definitely great quarterbacks.
They're in the Hall of Fame. So
yeah,
we'll give them that. And Dan Marino had an acting career in.
That's true.
Was he actually in Ace Ventura? I don't know if he was actually in the movie. He had to have been, right?
Yeah, he had a small role. He was also in what was that? Bad Boys 2?
Yes. Sneaks his way. Oh my God. As Dan Marino. It's amazing. Anyways.
That's when you know you're big, when you can just play yourself.
You can just play yourself. It's amazing.
We're just going to build this movie
Peyton
so that
Manning's
we
going to
can
be
get
that
you in
guy.
there.
Peyton Manning's going to be that guy. Peyton Manning hosting the ESPYs tonight, or was that yesterday? Tonight? Tomorrow? A month? I don't know.
Soon, sometime soon.
See, this is how much I don't care about the ESPYs. Have you ever actually sat down and watched the ESPYs?
Not the whole thing, no.
You would watch the ESPYs. Of course you do. Do you watch the Golden Globes, too? Maybe the Emmys?
I think all those shows, though, you got to kind of tune in and tune out. They're too long.
There are. And I don't think Peyton Manning's going to – I mean, he's funny, but I don't think he writes his own
He's been awesome on Saturday Night Live.
He has. He has some great stuff there. The Dolphins, we should break down the AFC East, I suppose. The Dolphins, Ryan Tannehill leading the offense down there. I don't know, man. People say he's a franchise quarterback. He can be Miami's quarterback, but he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that I would build a franchise around.
See, the Dolphins for me are like a Madden team that you're okay with, but not that it doesn't seem to work on in real life. Because Tannehill's essentially still a converted receiver into quarterback. Obviously happened when he was in college, but still, they have weapons as far as wide receivers. You get Jarvis Landry, Devontae Parker,
JJI is sitting there
who had a breakout
back.
year.
Yeah, right after I traded him off my fantasy team.
But it just seems to not all come together. It's like they can't have their breakout performances on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the Dolphins are like I said, they're like that Madden team that if you end up with the Dolphins on Madden, there's a lot of speed, there's a lot of guys. But in real life, it just doesn't seem to work. And I don't know if it's coaching, or I don't know if it's just or just that they're not that good.
I mean, looking at Jarvis Landry and J.J.I., I mean, they're both pretty solid athletes.
Right.
Like we said, J.J.I., I mean, is that how you pronounce it? Is it? I've heard people pronounce it a J.E., a J.I., a J.I., I don't know. We'll call him J.A.
Yeah.
J.A., 260 carries for 1,200 yards. I mean, that's pretty good for a guy who's just coming out, just barely making a name for himself.
Right, and kind of, I think he had 200-yard games.
Yeah. Dude, you serious? Against the Bills? I was at the one on Christmas Eve, and it knocked us out of the playoffs. I watched them run all over our defense.
Sorry.
Oh, my God. I can't believe you pulled that up.
I mean,
unbelievable. All you had to do was Google JJI stats. And
We're
talking
like,
he had two 200-yard games.
It happened in the AFC East. I mean, how is
it's
it
funny.
not?
The Music City Miracle came up this morning on halftime, or this afternoon at halftime.
Yeah.
Like we had one of our NHL correspondents from Nashville, and of course we asked the question, when was the last time anything major happened in Tennessee? And it was the Music City Miracle, which was the last time the Bills made the playoffs. Moving on. Yeah, so the Dolphins, let's look at their defense really quick, though. Kiko Alonso, former Bill Ndamukong Suh, former Detroit Lion. These are two big-name guys. And then you got Cameron Wake, of course, out there still kicking butt. Is this a defense that you think you would be afraid of?
I feel like I should be, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Again, this is the same with their offense. It feels like they have talented guys, but they're just not. And maybe it's for me, being a Packer fan and not seeing them as much, but it just feels like they should be better than they are.
They feel like they're kind of the all-around okay kind of team, middle of the pack. They're going to win some games, lose some games, and maybe they win a couple more, maybe they lose a couple more.
Right.
But none of it's going to surprise you. And that's kind of how I feel. It doesn't surprise me when the Bills lose both of their games to the Dolphins. And it doesn't surprise me when the Bills win both of their games against the Dolphins. So
I mean, and Ndamukong Suh, I don't think he's definitely hasn't been what he was in Detroit.
No, not even close. Not even close. I mean, should we start talking about Ndamukong Suh and how we're close to the end of his career there then?
I don't think we're ready to go that far.
Okay.
I mean, he's still a beast.
He's still a beast. He's still a beast. Speaking of beast, I think we should move into another team within the division and try to breeze through this one as quick as possible. The New England Patriots. Keep in mind, at the end of this show, we will break down who we think will come out on top of the division, and we had already talked about how hard it is for a team to come past a team like the New England Patriots. I mean, Tom Brady, we'll start there. We'll start here on their offense. Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. It doesn't matter who the receivers are because Tom Brady's going to put the ball in your hands. He's going to make you look like an all-star.
Yeah. And obviously Gronk was injured a lot last year, but I don't think there's any worry there. Gronk is going to be Gronk.
They won a Super Bowl without Gronkowski.
Right.
That's
and
not
then they
scary.
Add Dwayne
That's
Allen.
what I'm saying. Oh, my God.
I mean,
it's unbelievable. And that's the thing. I mean, Tom Brady, 22 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in 12 games. He missed people forget that he missed the first 4 games of the season last year. Yeah. And they went 3-1, losing to the Buffalo Bills. 28 touchdowns.
Finally something
good.
Yes,
thank God. 28 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. This guy he's going to be 40 by the time the season starts. This is absolutely ridiculous. He comes out and plays better, or as well, if not better, than he has played his entire career.
And he said he wants to play like
another 5 to 7 years, and every time I hear that, I throw up in my mouth a little. Yeah. This is ridiculous.
Well, on top of that, I mean, like I said, you add Dwayne Allen, you add Brandon Cooks, so they're giving him more weapons. I mean, you do lose LeGarrette Blount, who just signed with the Eagles, right?
Yep. I mean, that's the thing though with their running backs. This is why I would never draft a New England running back. You never know what they're going to do.
James White had an amazing Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You could have argued that he was MVP, but like you said though, you don't know with New England's running backs because it seems they do run the ball, but it doesn't feel like they pound. They just run and run and run.
It's absurd, and of course they steal any bill possible whenever they can. Chris Hogan, of course, last year, the year before, and now they have cornerback Stephon Gilmore, who is naming his daughter after Giselle, and Mike Gillislee, another young running back. So I mean, whatever. Baxter,
I have a question for you guys.
Of course you do.
I'm just curious, if you had to pick one Patriots running back that you had to build a franchise around, who would you choose?
For me, that's
out of the last 5 years.
Out of the ones they have right now, so you got James White, you got
Mike
Gillislee, whoever other bums they decide to bring into camp.
Yeah, for me, it'd have to be James White.
He's not a bad running back.
No, he's got the speed. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I guess you got to decide what kind of offense you're going to run. If I were a GM, I would throw the ball. So I would want James White. And obviously, you saw what he did in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw all my eggs in a basket and throw it at Mike Gillislee just because I'm a homer. Shocker. I enjoyed watching him. He played. I was surprised we let him go. I mean, we just didn't match the offer sheet, which is fine. I think the Patriots are paying way more than they need to for this guy, but he was fun to watch. He's a young running back, and we have LaShawn McCoy, so I'm not mad.
Just so you know.
Yes.
In the 3 teams we talked about, you've mentioned something about the Bills.
And each one.
It's the same division. You knew this was going to happen.
Right. That's why we're trying to get it over with.
Wait till we get we'll talk about the Packers at some point, too. You can have your moment.
I'm going to bring it back every single time.
This is ridiculous.
I found your ESPYs conundrum for you, by the way.
You're okay?
July 12th is when the ESPYs are.
So a month.
So you were so close.
I was.
So you can put it on your
calendar.
It's 2 months.
Is that not next week?
It's 2 months.
Today the 4th of July?
Yes.
Is that 2 weeks away?
Labor Day's tomorrow, I think.
Okay. So is my birthday.
Perfect. Now we know.
We'll celebrate my birthday on halftime again. Oh, my God. Unbelievable. Josh says, the ageless wonder that is Tom Brady. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's utterly ridiculous. Let's take a look.
Well,
at,
before we move on to the Bills,
ahead.
do the Patriots did they not win the offseason as well? I mean, you had Gronk everywhere. Gronk was literally
Gronk was at WrestleMania.
everywhere.
He was on SmackDown.
Right.
He's like at the Daytona 500, hanging out with the
throwing out the
Monster
open-
Girls,
or-
talking about how they're going to go up to his suite and party.
Yeah, Brady's throwing out the open pitch, and
My God.
Gronk shows up. And then of course,
They
you got
find Brady's jersey.
Dante Hightower,
Dante Hightower.
who just fleeced the Jets into cupcakes.
God, that was absolutely amazing. Oh, my God.
Real fast, I had one question for you guys from the Patriots' perspective.
Yes, way in the back. Go
Yes,
ahead.
over here, sir. Sir. What reports came out this week that Tom Brady had a concussion, according to his wife,
You've reached
Giselle.
Nate with New Wave Energy.
How do you react
Sorry, I
to
missed
that?
your
Does
call.
that make you feel
Can you
less
leave your name and
loved as a
phone
Bills
number?
fan
I'll get back
because
to you as soon as
He's going to
you
miss
beat you with
8
a
games and
concussion?
still win a Super Bowl. I don't care. It doesn't
Mailbox
matter.
is full and cannot accept any
he blew
messages
out
at
his
this
knee
time. Goodbye.
early on in his career, and he still won 5 Super Bowls after that. Like, what the heck? What are we trying to talk about here?
Well, and the Patriots didn't do too bad that year either.
No. I mean
that got
that's
Matt
the deal.
Castle
Was that the
paid.
yeah. Oh, my God. I can only do so much of this.
So maybe
guys.
people better worry about think twice about signing Garoppolo, seeing what happened to Matt Castle.
I don't want Garoppolo. I don't want him. Just get it over with. I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of it. You know, the whole concussion thing, though, I mean, Drew Brees came out and said he wouldn't tell his wife. He would think
reached
twice
Nate with
before telling
Wave
his
Energy.
wife that he had a
Sorry, I
concussion.
missed your
So we'll see. But before we move on to the Bills, I believe we have one of my – no? Okay, all right. We'll wait a second.
His phone is off.
His phone is off.
Phone is off.
What?
I don't know. Just tried calling him.
Oh,
Doesn't have time for you.
unbelievable. We'll try and get Nate Geary on in a moment. In the meantime, let's talk about the Buffalo Bills.
We'll get an intern on it for
Something I know absolutely nothing about. All right, here we go. Oh, God. All right, first off, let's start with the recent transactions.
Yep.
Okay. I was very excited before the draft. This was, mind you, before we fired the general manager and everybody else involved and hired a new coach, et cetera, et cetera. Steven Hauschka was a little bit older, but I love the idea of House coming in on a 3-year contract and kicking some balls for the Bills.
Now, see, when I called you earlier to talk about this show and talk about transactions, and you gave me a kicker and a fullback, I thought to myself,
Go on.
I hope he has a lot to say about the Bills because I
gave you a kicker and a
I don't know
fullback.
I don't know what to say about a kicker and a
We're taking
fullback.
the league by storm. We're taking the league by storm. Oh, my God. This is
what's
ridiculous.
if those are your two big transactions, what's the plan
I'm just
with that?
saying, there's big name guys. Okay, here's the deal. All right, let's start at the offense then, and I'll go into why these two are very important.
Okay.
Here's our offense. Two guys you're looking at: Tyrod Taylor, LaShawn McCoy, and of course, I'll add in a third, Sammy Watkins. If
Yep.
Sammy Watkins can stay healthy and stay open, Tyrod Taylor may have a future in Buffalo or in some other organization. However, Tyrod Taylor's a mobile quarterback, and we know that doesn't work out very well in most organizations. So where do we look? Our running game. We have one of the top running backs in the league, and the Buffalo Bills. I'm not the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills led the league in most rushing statistics last year. And we still missed the playoffs. So is it not a passing league? Yes, it is. But you go with what works.
Which is surprising because I feel like eye test tells me that LaShawn McCoy isn't the LaShawn McCoy that he was in.
I don't think he
Philly.
is. I don't think he is. I mean, you look at his stats. He's got 1,200 yards rushing last year. Of course, he was battling some injuries, but he is the bread and butter of your offense. And then you got some guys behind you, which is why I don't understand why they got rid of Mike Gillislee. But that brings me to the fullback position. Now, you got a couple blocking tight ends, a couple guys who can block and then also go out and catch some passes. You need to open up the running lanes. So Patrick DeMarco, one of the better all-around fullbacks in the league, arguably one of the top 50 of all time. I know that's not saying a lot because it's the fullback position, but just bear with me. Patrick DeMarco signing on for a 4-year contract. This is probably the best fullback in the league. I would put him right there as one of the best in the league. He's an all-around. He can block. He can grab the ball for short yardage, and he can also go out and catch a pass if you need him to. I would know. I played with him in Madden. So It's funny, actually, when we do bring Nate on, there was something that came out when we started signing. We signed Tolbert, and we also signed Patrick DeMarco. There was something that they came out with, an all-fullback Buffalo Bills team. So catching the league by storm.
Well, Patrick DeMarco, how many yards do you think he had last season?
5.
He had 0.
So
imagine my surprise.
That's why Atlanta didn't win the Super Bowl. Let's get right to it. My God. Unbelievable.
Have you heard what the Bills have for an over-under from the Vegas odds for wins this season?
I'll put $10 on it.
You want to put $10 on it? You think they're going to go?
What it is?
You want to guess what it is according to Vegas?
$10 to win the Super Bowl.
That's not where.
Am I going to win a lot of money if they do?
I mean, I don't know. It's up to you, I guess.
I'm going to say 8 wins.
You think they're predicted 8 wins? What about you?
They're probably. I mean, Vegas probably has us at like 6
ridiculous.
wins.
You're right.
Is it 6 wins?
6.5.
Oh my God.
Odds-on favorites. 6.5. Over/under. Bills
I'll take
get
the
more.
over on that.
You gonna take over?
Yeah, absolutely. I do.
I would probably take the over.
I'd take the over on that.
I can give you the other 3 divisional opponents if you want to get those over/unders too.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit me.
New York Jets over/under 5 wins.
Ooh, that's probably good. That's probably accurate.
I think that's about right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tough on that one. What's the? Give me the Dolphins.
The Dolphins over/under 7. I feel like with
Bills
James
at 6.5, huh?
Bills at 6.5. Dolphins at there.
So,
it must be a good thing though. The Dolphins are only a half point better or a half game better.
So basically, before we say what the Patriots are, we have 6,
7,
7,
and 5.
So the Pats are at 12.5.
Yes,
Are they really?
correct.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. 12.5. 12.5.
Wow.
It's 40 years old.
If it makes you feel any better, the only team semi-worse than Buffalo is Cleveland, and they're favored at 4.5 games for the season.
This is ridiculous.
4.5.
You sure you want to talk about this division?
Wanted to get Nate on, but apparently we can't get him. Anyways, let's talk about their draft really quick. They just signed cornerback Tre'Davious White to his rookie contract, so that's good news coming out. You need to do it. We need to do it. The Bills, mind you, the Bills needed to address the wide receiver position, so they addressed it in the second round with Zay Jones, who just went down with a knee injury today.
Wow.
He's out week to week.
There we go.
Week to week. Awesome.
So you've got
thrilling.
An injured rookie and Sammy Watkins.
Unbelievable. Mitch says fullbacks are the forgotten heroes of the NFL. You know who the forgotten hero of the NFL is?
Who's that?
I don't know. I forgot.
Waiting for LeVar Ball or Johnny Manziel. I was waiting for it.
I walked into that. I don't know why I did.
Why do we even do this?
So we know why Patrick DeMarco is important. Why is Stephen Hauschka important?
Because he's a kicker.
My God. Dan Carpenter lost the Bills the game against the Dolphins last year, which would have gotten us into the play. Mind you, we needed like 8 things to happen,
like
to get us into the playoffs.
200-yard rusher.
Yes. Now we needed 8 things to happen. All we needed to do was beat the Dolphins on Christmas Eve, and I was at that game, and that would have been a great Christmas present. And we needed a string of other things to happen, and the odds of them happening were just absurd. And guess what happened? Everything but us beating the Dolphins. And Dan Carpenter missed 2 field goals, one that was like 33 yards at home. It wasn't even snowing.
Okay, I see. Now I see why he's
furious.
important.
But no, Stephen Hauschka, he's always the kind of guy that I always refer back to my fantasy leagues. I love fantasy football, but Hauschka is always the kind of guy that I would grab as a safe kicker because you know he's an accurate kicker. Yeah. You know he's going to put the ball in. He's going to give you a couple long kicks too.
See, I always try to get the kicker on the worst team because you know they got to kick field goals.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. So, wait a minute. Before I back myself into a corner. You know that the Bills are going to be kicking the ball a lot.
So what you're saying
is draft Hauschka in your fantasy league.
I don't think that's the best strategy, personally. I mean,
what?
No, what James was saying, because Gostkowski's the best kicker every season.
That's
and
true.
He plays on the best team in the league.
Oh my God!
Because he doesn't miss. But Stephen Hauschka, just to make you feel reassured, 87% on his career for his field goals. 87%.
What's his long?
I'll take it. 38.
His career long is 58 yards.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
it's no Janikowski, but I'll
gotta make
take
it to half field.
It ain't 81.
95%. Don't get me started. 95% from extra points.
All right. Well, that's important to me because missing extra points is not good. And Carpenter had a couple of those. I loved Dan Carpenter, but I'm happy to have Hauschka. He's definitely an upgrade. So, anyways, we lost Stephon Gilmore. Goodbye, Stephon and Giselle Gilmore. Giselle Gilmore. What a name. Can we just call her Giselle Gilmore?
Are the Patriots taking anything else from you?
Oh my God. I give up.
Notice how he said he was going to stop saying we, and he said it like 12 more times. Just buy the team already. You'd probably do better than Doug Whaley.
I could finance that, right? It's probably low interest.
Yeah. There's a payment plan for that.
Wasn't Bon Jovi going to buy a team at one point? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Bon Jovi's not allowed to be played in Buffalo, by the way.
Why is that?
Because he was going to buy the Bills with the Rodgers group and then move them to Toronto, and he lied about it. He said, I am Bon Jovi, I am Canadian, and I am not moving the Bills to Toronto. I have no interest in doing so, even though I am partnering with the Rodgers group that own the Maple Leafs and the Blue Jays.
Does he start
every other
sentence?
team in Toronto?
Does he start every sentence like that?
Oh,
I am Bon Jovi and...
Living on a prayer.
Wouldn't you if you were Bon Jovi?
I probably would.
This is absurd.
I'm going to assume that Nate got eaten by a gator on the course.
Nate's got a tea time. Maybe
he's not responding.
Typical
He's
Bills.
not responding, huh?
We
Just like
tried.
the Bills doesn't
We sent
show
our
up.
best intern out to Buffalo, and he has yet to come back.
Right.
Your mom made him something nice, and he's still out there eating lunch or something.
Let me hit him up.
Probably
on the
heard us
interwebs.
talking about the fullback.
I thought we were talking about something good. We're talking about fullbacks?
Oh my God!
Come on, man.
Does he think
0
we're-
attempts.
Maybe he thinks we're calling mountain
0
time.
yards.
It's possible. I can give you more fast facts about Stephen Hauschka if you'd like.
Okay.
He had a career low 66% field goal rate when he played for the Baltimore Ravens for his first 2 seasons.
Okay.
Spent a season in Denver.
So he was 20 years old by the time he started actually kicking field goals.
23 and 24 his first years in Baltimore. He was 25 when he went to Denver, and then he spent the last couple of years as a Super Bowl champion of the Seattle Seahawks. There you
Rings,
go.
baby.
Ring.
He's the missing piece.
He could have had 2 pieces. Or he could have had 2 rings if they had just run the ball.
Did you watch The League?
No.
No, did you watch?
Yeah.
Have you did you see the episode? It must have been the first episode of one of the seasons. It was the season right after the Seahawks lost the Super Bowl, and they're sitting on the beach with Marshawn Lynch.
Were they having like their draft?
Yeah, well, they're just like on the beach, and I forget who it was. Like Kevin's like off in the corner. He's like, "Hey, can you Taco? Can you pass me a beer? Can you hand me a beer?" And Taco's sitting there right next to Marshawn Lynch, and Marshawn's like, "Hey man, just give it to me. I'll just run it over to him." He's like, "No, I think I'm gonna throw it." He's like, "No, man, just hand it to me. I'll just walk right over to him. He's right there." He's like, "No, I really think I'm gonna throw it. What's the worst that can happen?" And of course, he throws it, and things blow up in the background. Right. It was amazing. And now he's playing for the Raiders. Go Marshawn.
Yes.
I'm happy for him. Good for Marshawn.
Sending out L.A. Or
Oh
Oakland,
my
I guess.
God.
Did you guys hear what happened to the Rams and the Chargers?
No.
The stadium got delayed by another year, so they can't play
Yes.
there till 2020.
Is it because of the rain?
So Oakland will be
I thought
another
I
year.
saw it because it was because of the rain. I was like, what?
So Raiders will be another year in Oakland then?
Probably.
Rain delays Chargers Rams 2020 stadium.
How does that even happen?
I don't know.
Do they build it on?
Uncommon.
Do they build it on sand instead of on solid ground? Do they not read the Bible?
Uncommon heavy rainfall in Los Angeles has delayed the highly anticipated $2.6 billion stadium in Englewood, California by a year. Why? Is it just too swampy now? What's going on down there? Oh, my God. I give up. Good for them. Good for them. Anything else going on out there in the world? Okay, should we?
Well, yeah, we need to pick a winner in this guy.
we do. We'll try and get Nate on for a show in the future. I love
Yeah.
having Nate on, but it's unfortunate. But we'll try and get him on in the future. He's playing golf right now, so I don't really feel bad.
No.
I don't feel bad. I just got back from Florida. I didn't play golf once.
I didn't either.
He's also playing
a
at one of my
mistake.
favorite courses in Buffalo.
I played
so.
street hockey.
Did you?
I did.
I'm jealous.
Kicked my brother's butts.
I'm jelly.
13-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And you kicked their
win's
butts?
a win.
I commentated the entire time, too.
Ridiculous.
My brothers were yelling at me like, "Stop commentating! It's street hockey." I'm like, "Exactly. I don't have any hockey broadcasting experience. I can put this on my resume."
Were you like calling it before you did it?
Yes, absolutely.
Trevor says Hauschka has a neuroscience degree. He's smart.
Well, he's got that going for him.
There's a
take
debate
it.
on NFL.com right now, which I can throw at you guys.
Sure, what is it?
Kirk Cousins, is he a franchise quarterback? Yes or no?
No, we already talked about this.
Yeah, no.
He's
No.
he's in the same league as Ryan Tannehill. You can
I think
build.
he's a
You can
little
build
I would
around
take
him
Cousins
and be,
over Tannehill.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
a
I
little
would
bit better
too.
than Tannehill.
You can build around him and be 8-8, maybe 9-7, but he's not going to get you to 12-4.
He needs a lot of help.
Yeah.
I got one more for you.
He's got decent
Okay.
weapons.
Do you like that? Okay, go ahead.
Which running back will rush for the most yards with their new team? Adrian Peterson, Jamal Charles, Marshawn Lynch, LeGarrette Blount, or other? I don't know who the other would be. Nobody else relevant
Adrian
got signed.
Peterson, Jamal Charles. I'm going to rule out LeGarrette Blount.
Philly doesn't know how to run the ball.
Man, there's a lot of guys in that backfield.
It's true.
I'm going to say Adrian Peterson because I don't know if Jamal Charles is even going to start.
Sure he will. He'll split time with CJ. AP's not going to start. He's going to split time with Mark Ingram.
Yeah. I expect more out of
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson, though.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
he like
gotta be
only like
AP.
2 years removed from a 2,000-yard season?
Yep.
Still got it.
Yeah, it's got to be AP.
Still got
But
it.
they have to completely change their offense for him to do that.
Yeah.
Unless he just starts ripping off.
What if
long
Drew Brees
ones.
actually has a concussion? We won't know about it because he's not going to tell his wife.
You might tell one of his like 8 kids though. You want to know what people on NFL.com said?
Yes.
45% said Marshawn Lynch. The next closest.
Was he an option? I choose Marshawn Lynch.
The next two closest.
I really do, actually, though. I would choose Marshawn Lynch out of any of the guys.
37,000 people voted. Peterson and LeGarrette Blount were second with 16,000 or 16% of the vote.
Wow.
I don't think LeGarrette Blount's going to get a chance. He's just going to.
He's
a
gonna
goal
phase
line
out.
back. He's going to be a goal line back.
Yeah, if that.
He had 18 touchdowns last year.
Marshawn Lynch is going to come
People
in.
forget
and
that.
wreak
He was
havoc.
already a goal line back.
Right.
So yeah.
I'm gonna get a hold of Marshawn Lynch and tell him that you disapproved of him, Baxter, and he's just gonna go off. Man.
Seems to be the recurring theme today. That's fine. People don't really like to agree with me.
Love our ball. All right, let's make our picks for the division. I'm gonna
want
let
an honest pick or a hopeful
Yeah,
pick?
I want your honest pick.
Okay. It's going to be the Patriots.
We got to say the New England Patriots. It's of course going to happen.
Yeah. Is there going to be any battle?
Just until it's the same reason when the Bills hired a new general manager and people were asking me about it, I just told them, I said, until I see progress, I just don't care. It's the same thing I've been watching for the last 17 years.
Yeah.
I just don't. So until I see some progress. So until somebody beats New England and wins the division, I
Right.
will not rule them out as a division champion. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's a foregone conclusion. Yeah.
They're just too good. So New England, last place, I'm going to put the Jets. I think that's safe
Yeah.
to say, right?
Yeah, Jets. I mean, Josh McCown. So
What do you actually think their record is going to be? Vegas had them at 6-10.
Jets,
Yeah,
5-11.
5-11. That seems about right.
yeah, I'd
If
even
that.
go 4-12. I mean,
Yeah, give or take 2 games, 5-11. I'm sorry, 5-11 max. Maybe, maybe 4-12. Maybe
less.
3-13.
They're taking for a quarterback next year.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a great pick. We'll take it.
I mean, in this league, you almost have to.
Yeah, you do have to.
I mean,
You're not going to get a great quarterback unless you get him high in the draft or you get lucky.
right.
Like
And you
Seattle.
let him sit for a while.
Yeah, like Green Bay.
Yeah.
Okay. That leaves Miami and Buffalo. Where do you think they're going to fall?
Buffalo. It'll be Patriots, Bills, Miami, Jets.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Don't give them hope.
Maybe like 1 in 1,000. More like 1 in a million. Okay, I'm gonna second that motion. New England's gonna take the division. It's gonna be close between Miami and Buffalo because it always is.
Yeah.
It always has been. And the Jets usually decide who comes in second in that division and has a chance at the wild card spot because
Yep.
they will sneak a game from Miami from time to time. They will sneak a game from Buffalo from time to time. But more often than not, Miami or Buffalo ends up sweeping the opponent. So we'll see. I'm going to say New England, Buffalo, Miami, New Jersey. See what I did there?
I did.
There's only one team that plays in New York, Baxter. All right. Those are my picks. Those are
East
James'
Rutherford
picks.
I caught on there.
Did you catch on?
Eventually.
All right.
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
If you had to go an entire season with a backup quarterback for all 4 of these teams, how would these teams finish? So you've got Jimmy Garoppolo, whoever the heck Buffalo trots out there,
It'd be either Nathan Peterman or
Cardell Jones.
Cardell Jones.
The Jets have like 12 different quarterbacks, I feel like.
So we can still
I don't
rule them
think it
out
would-
as the last, right?
I don't think it would change.
You don't think anything would change?
No,
You think
because-
Garoppolo's good enough with the sporting cast?
I think Garoppolo could beat out Cardale Jones for sure, but I would love to watch Cardale Jones throw the ball 70 yards.
Well,
down
and like
the
you
field.
said, the Bills,
Christian Hackenberg, Bryce Petty for the Jets.
Bryce Petty would probably start then.
Probably.
but the Bills can run the ball. So
It's true.
at the end of the day,
Hey,
those,
Matt Moore is your backup.
Sorry.
Matt Moore is your backup though in Miami. He's
Tell
probably
me
got the
there's
most
a chance.
experience
that's
out
true.
of all of them.
Matt Moore's not great, but he's not.
He's better, I'd like
Yeah.
to think, on paper than most of those quarterbacks.
Right.
but if LaShawn McCoy is healthy, so you're telling me if all the starting quarterbacks go down,
Say they
LaShawn
all
McCoy is
say
healthy,
they, say they all were shirtless on a boat in Miami for some reason.
and Gronkowski's driving the boat.
Yes, just the spitballing ideas here.
I mean,
All
why
right.
wouldn't he be though?
Exactly. Who do you want to talk about next week? Because we did the NFC East and the AFC East. Should we hit the Packers?
I mean,
We got to go back to the AFC, then to the NFC. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we just did the AFC.
I
Should
know.
we move back to the NFC?
It's your show.
I'm more than happy
I
to
was
talk
pushing
about
buttons.
the Packers.
What?
I'm more than happy to talk about the Packers.
All right. We'll go with that then. All right. We just featured the AFC East this week. Who's all in your division? The Bears, the Packers,
The Lions.
the Vikings, and the Lions.
Yes.
My God, I can already.
Last time
We can
checked.
break that down in 5 minutes if you want to.
Is Tampa still in the division?
Now there's still a lot to say about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh
and,
my God. All right. So the NFC North. Is there any divisions I'm missing? Can we talk about Canadian football?
Wait, I think we
This isn't
did.
an-
we
it's
we
not
talked
an-
about Canadian
It's
football.
not an
today.
NFL show. It's a
The Tiger
football show.
Cats.
Maybe next week we could just talk about Canadian football.
I'm really excited when you guys talk about the AFC South. Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Titans. I want to
Gross.
watch. I'm going to watch that show.
Gross.
Andrew Luck, and that's about it.
Right.
Oh my God.
Whoever the heck Deshaun
Oh,
Watson.
we got Fournette.
Hey man,
Unbelievable.
Jacksonville, Tennessee.
Unbelievable.
I hope Marcus Mariota brings a fish to the first game for the Titans. Throws it on the field,
This is ridiculous.
slaps a ref.
All right, let's get out of here. All right, that's a wrap on this show today. Of course, we're going to talk about the Packers and nothing but the Packers next week. And now the Packers are going to take the division, and the Packers and the Packers, the Packers, the Packers.
It's gonna be awesome.
Aaron Rodgers, the GOAT. Until then, at J Stu
At J. Stu Jr.
Jr.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, I'll get it.
One of these days.
At J Stu.
You're close.
At J Stu Jr.
Just two more letters.
At Bannerchurch. This has been the Pick Six. Do we have any more programming for today, Baxter?
We are done for the day.
We're done for the day. Awesome. Tune in tomorrow morning for the Morning Brew. I will be back on halftime tomorrow at 11. Until then, I love you all. Have a fantastic evening. Enjoy your Thursday night. And we'll see you again tomorrow here on Brew Sports. I'm Tanner Burke. He is James Stewart. And you are the audience. We'll see you tomorrow.